What's up? Thanks for popping in. If you don't mind, as you come in, hit the like button. Doing an little evening live today, which is nice. This will be a quick one. I wanted to go over a couple things. Well, what is up, homie? Thanks for popping in here. So wanted to talk about a couple things that are happening in the crypto market. Obviously, it's heating up again. That always brings a lot of attention, but also brings a lot of kind of misinformation, which is always interesting. So for my folks in this space, it's not our main thing. It's not what we're depending on. But now, especially in my businesses, I mean, today, for the public entity, we're talking to the auditors. And so, a part of our talks are over buys that we've made in the crypto space and income that's going to come in from that and how we're going to treat that and all that good stuff. But it's something that we're doing in each of the businesses that we're acquiring the different funds. It's something that I'm doing in each of my businesses. And I think that it's something you want to consider. Sherry, what is up? Thank you so much for popping in. So it's something you want to consider that, as a part of the assets that are in your business in order to protect yourself from inflation. And also, I think, benefit from some of the things that are going to be happening even on a technology standpoint when it comes to NFTs and those kind of things. I think that there's just a lot of opportunities for businesses, but at the very least, to have some crypto along with cash is valuable. What prompted me to do a quick live and pop on today was actually several things. I think that in general, it's something that's valuable in the stock market, something that's valuable in our business. It's just trying to look beyond the curtain. It's trying to look and see beyond what the news is saying, what's really going on. This infrastructure bill and the impact that it's going to have on crypto is big news. Some of the other technical things that are going on, they're saying, people are getting rid of crypto. So what's going on there? Because the price is going up. And so I wanted to chat on that. So let's start with the technical indicators. So one of the things that's really interesting is that there's been actually a huge amount of outflow of money out of Bitcoin and out of Ethereum as well. And so, you wonder like, okay, what's going on here? Why is so much money leaving? And you might think, okay, well, this is profit taking. Like a lot of people aren't holding on to their crypto. So it's getting high this time. It's already at this kind of high 40s, mid 40s, and, bouncing between that and low 40s and 50. And a lot of the money is leaving Bitcoin. So you might think, okay, this isn't going to go much higher. There's not a lot of people that are interested in holding on to it. What's actually happening, though, is that there's a lot of people that are selling Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they're going to the other altcoins. And so what it really signifies, especially the amount of money, is that a lot more institutions are actually getting more comfortable with crypto, because they're not just going to the big two, they're going to some of these other smaller altcoins and a serious amounts of money. And so it's not that it's leaving Bitcoin and just going to USD or leaving Ethereum and just going to the stock market. It's actually leaving and staying in the crypto space. So if you look at the overall value of the market, it was 2 trillion. It's about 2 trillion right now. It's 2 trillion last year in April. It was 2 trillion when Bitcoin was like up to like 60. And so now it's already hitting 2 trillion again in the market overall. But the cool thing is that it's hit 2 trillion and Bitcoin's just at 50. So there are some kind of misunderstandings around like, okay, if the money's leaving, I think it shows that there's actually a lot more interest in the space overall. and still bodes well for the future of crypto as well. But if you look at Cardano, you look at Solana, it's pretty killer what's been happening. I think the bull market in general this time is going to be a little bit different. It'll be a little bit more diversified. It's not just going to be a Bitcoin kind of bull market, or even if it goes down, it's just going to be a more diversified thing as opposed to everybody being really focused on Bitcoin in over the last year. One of the other things everybody's talking about, the infrastructure bill and what's going to happen. And I think the interesting thing is that some people take it as like, oh, the infrastructure bill is a sign that they're trying to kill cryptocurrency, or that they think that cryptocurrency, or the government thinks that cryptocurrency is illegal. And I just like to see like what the government's actually doing. And I think there are a couple things that's really interesting when you look at like what even the government's doing versus what they're saying, or what Elizabeth Warren's saying versus like what other departments in the government are actually doing. And so if you look at when even like the seizing of something illegal or something that the government thinks is bad, what they're going to do with it is get rid of it. Like if they seize drugs, they're going to destroy the drugs, but when they seize something they seize as an asset, then they are going to put that with the assets and they sell them. And so it's really interesting with Bitcoin, like for years, like they have a whole department that holds Bitcoin, that has Bitcoin, and that chooses times to sell Bitcoin. So it's interesting that like they're actually holding, like the government owns Bitcoin that's been repossessed from criminals as an asset and sells Bitcoin as an asset. So if they decided that it was illegal, it would be like saying like, oh yeah, like we've been breaking the law by buying and selling. So that's not really the part of the conversation. Really, the conversation is around like what kind of taxes are going to be there. But I think one of the other neat things is that there's this new program where they're kind of rewarding justice. I think it's like rewards for justice. And so there's this whole new program that the government has just announced where they're telling criminals like, hey, we know one of the reasons that you might be afraid to come and talk is that you don't want us to pay you. Like maybe somebody else sees that wire come through, or, in the past, literally. And man, there's this really great book about this. I'm going to kind of search Amazon as I'm talking to you guys, but it's read something about it's a true stories kind of spy book. But anyways, there's a maybe Red Notice, but like a lot of times what they'll do to an informant is they'll like just take them a bag of cash, and so you got the drop off and somebody might see you, and then what are you going to do with the cash? It limits what you're able to give that person. And so now they've introduced this thing where they're trying to incent, the government is literally incentivizing criminals by telling them, hey, in order that you can really stay anonymous, if you just want to give us an anonymous tip, we don't have to meet you and give you a bag of money. We don't have to wire you funds. Like we're going to know who you are. Like you can literally give an anonymous tip and we'll wire you crypto to a wallet, which is pretty cool. It's so like, it's that's one of those things where it's just really interesting that already, like we're very early in this whole thing and a lot of people are seeing value, but that's really valuable to the government. And it's a cool use. I'm just glad that they're even thinking that creatively to incentivize those kinds of things. So I thought that is kind of one of those things that's behind the curtain. So one of the things in general, just like you can't believe that you can't really pay any attention to the news, because the news is only going to report on things that like incite people or get people worried, because the more that they can make you feel worried, the more you're going to watch them. Now, unfortunately, bunch of people are going to listen to the news, and so that will affect the market. So you can pay attention to it from that standpoint, but never from the standpoint of these are all the facts. And sometimes it's just outright lies. So you have to kind of take everything they say with a grain of salt, pay attention to it, but never ever thinking that that's the whole story. So I thought those were kind of a few little things that are like, not being discussed, but are very interesting. Just a quick video. But I appreciate y'all jumping in. Luke, what's up, homie? Thanks for coming on. What are some altcoins to pay attention to? Well, Cardano just hit number 3. Just a few months ago, it was number 10. So that signifies that a lot of people have a lot of faith. They have a smart contract update that's going to come out, I think, September 12th, or maybe the 14th, but coming up in September, mid-September. That could either do one or two things. Some people are saying like once the price is driving up until that point, and then there'll be some people that pull out then. But I'm a long-term holder of that coin. Solana is another one that is an altcoin that, it's not these small, you can have, and I do have a friend in South America, here in South America, that has a coin that is outrageous. I'll decide if I mention here later, but we're staking and it's multiple 100% of annual interest, but it's also super, super risky, which is why I wouldn't, it's a small coin, it's super risky. But has an annual return right now of a little over 300%. But I think in the safer zone, Solana, Cardano are two alts that I would definitely just have some, it's not like your life savings. It's just, the same way that you should just have a diversified portfolio, and diversified, as we've talked about, isn't just the stock market, isn't diversified among a bunch of stocks. It's the stock market, it's, real estate, whether that's multifamily or some exposure to real estate. I like having some exposure to international real estate. It's loans, that kind of thing, whether it's bonds or just, I like having like some actual notes myself, and then precious metals. But you want to add crypto in there as well. And where you're getting that money from is private equity. So you want to own businesses that are generating income. You're living off a small portion of that income, and the rest of that income is being invested and split among those asset classes. Awesome. Hopefully that was valuable for y'all. Be sure to like the video. Thank you so much for popping on. We had Durable popped on. Miss Sherry Kern jumped on for a bit. Luke, what's up, homie? And I certainly appreciate that question. That's a great question on the recommendations. Have a great night.